Hey there, folks.
Going to take a trip outside. Missing one vital part. The keys.
Hello.
Alright. $50 out here this morning, folks. In beautiful Granite City, Illinois. Heading to Collinsville. Make a dispensary run. And then come back here and open some You know, it seems to be kind of a little bit of a dismal lighting in there anyway, and now we got the natural sunlight. Well, at least while we have some sun, we do. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this study I did on, well, actually, it was studying the gospel. But towards the end of Jesus' ministry, right before the guards come to take him away, Peter is ready to go off and die with Jesus. I mean, he's so full of faith, and man, I believe that Peter believed what he was saying. You know, he said he's ready to leave with Jesus, go wherever, follow him wherever, to death if that's what it takes, you know. But Jesus had to correct Peter, and he said, "You're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows." So this must have broke Peter's heart. You know, put yourself in his shoes. He's been with Jesus all this time. He is a devoted follower of Christ. He's out there doing ministry himself, you know. Jesus is giving him power and authority, you know. So when Jesus tells him this, he knows that Jesus ain't just saying it. He knows he can trust everything that Jesus says, and this is really not good news for Peter, because he figured he was full of faith and ready to be kind of like a champion disciple, and it must have really felt weird. Anyway, you know, after Jesus is taken away and hauled off to be crucified, everybody splits. It's like, I guess it's John and Peter that are hanging out, but then John is able to go inside beyond the gates, but Peter's hanging on the outside. He's actually sitting around a campfire. Peter's sitting around this campfire with some folks, and people are calling him out, man. They're like, "Hey, didn't I see you with Jesus? Aren't you one of his disciples?" Peter's like, "No, I don't even know who you're talking about. I've never seen him, never been with him, don't know." And then even, I guess it was, well, I don't remember if it was Malchus. Yeah, it was Malchus, the one that got his ear cut off and Jesus healed his ear. Man, if it isn't, I need to re-look at this and edit this video. But Peter even told that guy, the guy he whacked his ear off, "No, I don't know the man." So anyway, Peter was hardcore denying Jesus. And man, that reminded me of times, you know, times in my own life. I could see myself around that fire like Peter was. And, you know, there's been times in my life, times of compromise where I found myself, and we're talking, I've been a believer for 30 years, folks. So, over the years, I look at the things that I've done that are not godly, that I'm not proud of. But I know that they happen for a reason, you know. I know that oh, that's a bad way to put it. Strike that, okay? The reason they happened is because I was weak and I made bad decisions. That's why they happened. That's the reason. So anyway, I think about times in my own life that I've been in places of compromise, and I found myself literally in a physical place where I look around and I'm like, how in the world is a man of God So yeah, I can relate to that, man, being in places of compromise. Is there anybody out there who can relate to what I'm talking about right now? Especially you folks who struggle with addiction. You know, man, it gets hard, you know, and our enemy, Satan, he knows us well enough that he knows all of our weakest points. He knows when to go in for the kill, man. He's no idiot. He's a wise adversary, you know. And addiction is one of his greatest tools. So folks, if you're out there, if you can relate to this, especially all you folks who struggle with addiction, you find yourself, maybe you've been away from the Lord for a while. Maybe your addiction caused you to just fade away, but you know that you still know him. You know that you still pray all the time. Do you think he turns a deaf ear to you? Do you think he's shocked because he found out that you're actually a sinner? I mean, really, man, come back. Come back. He's like the prodigal son's father, standing at the top of the hill, looking out for his son all the time. You know, if you're a believer, if you're truly born again, if you surrendered to the Lord, no matter how long it was ago, I say just come back, because he promised that he would never leave us nor forsake us, right? So he promises to hold on to us. Now, we can wander off and do our own thing and this and that, but I believe that when he resurrected my heart, he made my heart born again. All things are passed away. Behold, all things become new. Does that mean that I stopped sinning? Are you kidding me right now? Every day I need the Lord. I need his grace. I need his mercies that are new every morning in my life. Just like you do too. You know. But folks, come back. You don't have to just jump right into a church. Man, read the book of John. Start getting into intimate study and worship again. He hasn't left you. Sitting around that campfire, warming your hands, you know that Jesus is just beyond the gate, being beaten half to death, scourged, punched, spit at, you name it, blasphemed, everything, man. The way I think of it is kind of like if somebody was to talk like that and do that kind of stuff to your mama. You know, we're supposed to have even a deeper love for Jesus and our relationship with him. So if I knew somebody just beyond the gate was smacking my Lord around and spitting in his face and saying all kinds of horrible stuff, man, I can feel rage inside of me just thinking about it. So there was Peter right outside of those gates denying the Lord. You know, and see, I think I talk real big about what I would do and things like that, man, but I hope I would be faithful. Peter had seen much more of the miraculous, amazing works of God than me in person. You know, anyway, folks, what I want to do is use this little story, this little illustration and comparison to hopefully reach out to some folks who can relate, you know. You folks who, I don't know what your issues are. All I know is we're all sinners. So you got to have some issues in your life. You know, you got to have some things that are tugging at your attention. Because our adversary roams around like a roaring lion seeking whom he might devour. Just don't give up. You know, you've been away for a while. Come on back. The Lord is waving you home. I think that's why he drew you to my little teeny tiny channel today. The Lord is drawing you back. He's waving like those people with the bars in the airports. He's saying, come on back. know, whatever you did, he'll forgive you. Just come to him with a repentant heart. I'm not kidding, folks. I'm at 0 miles. 0 till empty, folks. But I'm headed to get gas right now. Sorry I keep yelling. I just want to seem interesting.